Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Popcorn Bucket List, the podcast that keeps your movie bucket list up to date because those 1,000 movies to see before you die lists are just too daunting. I'm your host and resident promiscuous 1960s hippie, Gracie.
And I'm Darrell.
Darrell who?
Darrell looks off in the distance. Skywalker.
And I'm Sarah.
Sarah who?
Sarah Dumbledore. And here's my baby Phoenix.
Here's a little tease for the next movie.
Oh my god. Today we won't be adding any movies to your bucket list because today we are talking about the movies that we hate is a very strong word, but I'm going to use hate here.
Accurate.
So these are movies we hate. We've talked about the movies that make us feel all warm and fuzzy inside. And now we're going to go to the other side of your holidays, the one filled with arguments, yelling, and disgruntled drinking. So why don't we start off with a big one? Sarah, why don't you take us on that first little run of a movie that really boils it.
Yeah.
So, I hate this. I can't talk today. Leave this in. That we have no script for this episode. Friends, listeners, we normally have at least an intro written and then we just free talk. We had, and this is my contribution, because someone else wrote, today we won't be adding any movies to your bucket list because these are movies that ... Sarah wrote that, and I wrote hate. And that didn't make sense because I wasn't paying attention. And then Sarah graciously changed it to suck. And I didn't notice that when reading the script. So.
And that's our intro. It's
That's
like the
our
opposite
intro.
of improv rules. It's just like yes and no, actually.
And I said I wasn't doing it again. So that's it. Okay. Sarah, why don't you start us with one of the movies that you strongly dislike?
Yeah. I'd be happy to. Mine are gonna all have the theme of disappointment on a grand scale because these movies aren't just terrible sequels. They're entire letdowns of franchises, decades in the making. And my first one is Fantastic Beasts, Crimes of Grindelwald. And that movie made me so mad because one, I'm a big Harry Potter fan. I love the Harry Potter movies. Pardon my French, fuck J.K. Rowling, but I love the Harry Potter movies. And I also thought Fantastic Beasts was a great fun ride. Like I loved it. It was beautiful. Newt was so much fun. It was like, it wasn't the best movie ever, but it's what I wanted out of my Harry Potter blockbuster. It made me happy. It was a little like, okay, maybe not with some parts, but for the most part, I thought it was a lot of fun. I liked a lot of the characters that were introduced. And then Crimes of Grindelwald just came in and just shat on everything. Because wowee, is that movie bad. The fan service in it is ridiculous, unnecessary, and inaccurate. Like math. Like, why is Professor McGonagall in it? She wasn't even supposed to be born yet. She's an adult professor in this movie. Why did Nagini have to be a human being cursed to turn into a snake? Are we supposed to feel bad about Neville chopping her head off? Like, just so many things.
Oh.
Yeah, see, it's like the more you think about it, the more you
Oh.
talk
The
about it,
fan
the worse it
service
gets.
is so dumb. And then that cliffhanger, that shitty cliffhanger of this kid that we're supposed to think is Leta Lestrange's brother the whole movie is actually Albus Dumbledore's brother, which is just so dumb because it definitely would have been talked about in any of the Harry Potters, especially when they're unearthing all this shit about Dumbledore. And
But
if
is it a
isn't,
lie?
It's probably a lie. It's gotta be. But then the
That's
little
what I
weird
think
I
too.
took
fan
it as a
service
lie.
of the Phoenix, I mean, it probably is a lie, but then it's just stupid because we're all just waiting for it to be a lie, and that's a terrible cliffhanger.
And if it's true, it's like that's even worse. This is even stupider.
Because guess what we also thought was going to be a lie? We thought that it was going to be a lie that Rey was someone important, and then last minute, better make her someone important.
No.
As you
It
can
wouldn't
see,
be the first time.
yeah. Actually, I guess Grindelwald was the first time, unfortunately, I
No.
think.
I guess.
Grindelwald came out in 2018. Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker was
The lead up.
2017.
2019.
Rise of Skywalker. Oh, sorry. Last Jedi was 2017.
Are we talking about Last Jedi or?
I think episode 7 teased that Rey was supposed to be somebody,
Oh, okay.
which is
Yeah,
what
that's what episode 7
Crimes of
did.
Grindelwald
Clarifying
is
for our
doing.
listeners here. Okay.
The point is these movies suck.
They suck.
Not The Last Jedi, though. I like The Last Jedi. That's not the one that sucks.
I agree.
Excuse me. Just
Well,
start
great
up.
start today.
Oh, we were not meant to record today. I didn't hate Crimes of and I say this a lot, but like I feel like I had a hard time picking these ones because I don't tend to like hate I hate 27 dresses. I hate 27 dresses, but I've already talked about 27 dresses, so I had to bring new movies to the table. But like I understand why like you hate Crimes of Grindelwald. I think it's the same with the Star Wars movies. I'm just thrilled to get anything that I can, but I also take it with a grain of salt. I mean, I read the damn Cursed Child. I haven't seen the play, but you know, she wrote a play and it freaking retrofits the entire. I don't know if either of you have read it, but it basically just says, hey, none of this matters. Like
I did.
The entire 7 books and 8 movies could have been prevented or, you know, changed via this, and this. And oh, by the way, how long ago did it come out? Can I spoil the book or the play?
I mean, I'll read it eventually.
Yes.
You can just tell me what happens.
Well, okay, because it's a play, because people go see plays. If you don't want the play spoiled, stop listening right now.
Or just skip ahead like
Or
2
just
minutes.
skip like a second, like skip 15 seconds. But friggin' Bellatrix has Voldemort's baby. Like, are we supposed to like take that?
Why? What?
Yeah, like
That's some
Bellatrix had
fan
a
fiction shit.
yeah, it's
Yeah,
and
that's
I've
so
read
fantastic.
better fan fiction than that shit. Like J.K. Rowling can't even write fan fiction for her own fiction. That's
She
why
didn't
she
write
sucks.
that. She wrote Crimes of Grindelwald.
No,
Wait,
she.
didn't
I
write
thought she
Cursed Child?
wrote. I thought she
didn't
wrote
write
part of
Cursed
Cursed Child.
She
Who wrote Cursed
storyboarded
Child?
with them, and she was like, she
Oh.
was script supervisor.
Oh, Jack Thorne
whatever,
wrote it.
but she didn't write
Well,
it.
either way, there was much
She wrote Crimes of
better.
Grindelwald.
There were
She
much
did write
better
that.
fan fiction she could have picked for her play. I promise her that, you know, and I don't want to talk to her ever again. And that's coming from a lot. I've got Harry Potter tattooed on my freaking skin. So
It's commitment.
J.K.
and,
Rowling.
You know.
fuck J.K. Rowling. That's what your title should be for this episode. She
We're
can't
talking
write
about
movies.
everything
And I
also.
will say that she can't write
Rowling.
movies. Don't stop letting her write the movies because she's
Yeah.
not a screenwriter. And as much as like it pains me to say it, that like, you know, you can have writers who go back and forth. Like, you know, there are writers who can do well transitioning back and forth. She was not meant to tailor what isn't on screen of her stories.
Yeah. She doesn't understand what makes things work. Like you can't just have a 1,000, you know, you can't have a 20-minute lore dump on screen and have that be interesting.
No.
Nobody wants that.
No one, not even Harry Potter fans want that. And I'm perfectly fine watching literal like stupid crap for Star Wars and Harry Potter, but I legitimately knew that Crimes of Grindelwald was not good. I did not leave that movie satisfied. I left it very irritated. I will say, though, it does get an extra couple bonus points for Jude Law, but
it loses those points because she recast Johnny Depp for the next one with Mads Mikkelsen.
Yeah.
But okay, I agree. I think Johnny Depp should still be in the role, but Mads Mikkelsen is also a phenomenal actor, and
he is. But
it's really hard to be mad at Mads. I'll be mad at J.K.
Well, yeah,
Rowling
not at him.
because I think Johnny Depp should still have the role. I'm mad at J.K., but I'm also not gonna be really mad at Mads Mikkelsen because I'll support it because I like Mads Mikkelsen.
I mean, really, it's the studio's fault there.
Oh yeah,
they're
it's
the one who
definitely.
recast.
It was everybody kind of falling for the fan bias of that whole situation going on, with
Amber Heard,
whatever her name is. Yeah.
Well, they kept Ezra
still
Miller
an
in there
Aquaman
after
for some
choking a
reason.
fan.
Right, beating the shit out of people.
Yeah, he freaking.
But he can keep his job.
But he can keep his job. Well, the movie
so
wouldn't work.
The whole cast.
Grindelwald can change his ways he looks, so we can rewrite this character. I get it. It's a character that in the series doesn't, and this is totally, we're not a book podcast, we're not a Harry Potter podcast, but in the series, they don't really touch on Grindelwald all that much. So it's fine, but he's the equivalent of Voldemort. It's literally, the idea is time repeats itself and there's always going to be another Hitler, that kind of thing. I guess that's basically what it was trying to say. I said that very.
In a book about cute creatures, basically.
Yeah, they could have done so much. It didn't have to be. It's his story, and Newt Scamander has his own lore already written by her.
Why are these Fantastic Beasts movies? This is literally a 5-part series that she's planning that's following Dumbledore and Grindelwald. Why did you even make the first one about Newt?
Yeah,
it's in the 1920s. How convenient.
Yeah, exactly. And it's I would have been fine with a Dumbledore series. If you're not going to give us a Marauder series, give us a Dumbledore series, slap a Jude Law on the cover and call it a day. People will go see it no matter what. But I guess you could say the same thing about Fantastic Beasts, so I don't know. Newt Scamander is adorable, though.
He is.
So
the young version of him was so very well cast.
Oh, yes, very much so.
And his brother.
His brother was really well cast. Well, it was someone pretty big, right? I don't remember who played his brother.
He was big enough. I don't remember. I only watched it once, but
Zoe Kravitz.
The casting was never
Lita
an issue
Lestrange was great. I mean,
I don't need the character's name.
Is normally pretty great. It's even, well directed. David Yates isn't a bad director.
Yeah,
he did a great job with the Harry Potter films. It's just
the writing is terrible. Every aspect of the writing seems to be terrible, intentionally almost.
Yeah.
Why can't I find this actor? Why is it I type it 600 different ways and I can't get the actor's name? Callum Turner. He is big in Britain, if I remember correctly.
He's a big English boy.
Yes.
That's the reason why.
Yes.
He's not an American boy.
I don't know who he is, but he's definitely well cast. So, all right. Well, now that we've talked about that heated discussion, which I'm sure we could keep going because, I personally have a Harry Potter movie that I don't really like, but we chose not to discuss it because the reasons I don't like it is because it doesn't do the book justice, and that we felt like that was an unfair. That could be a whole nother podcast episode. So
another podcast.
We'll get to it.
Or movies
because
doing
technically, it's we're not a book podcast as much as I would like us to be. No, I'm kidding. Darrell, do you want to jump into your heated?
Yeah.
What makes your blood boil?
What really grinds my gears?
There you go.
Is Rise of Skywalker.
There it is.
I'm sorry, all y'all who actually like Rise of Skywalker. I don't really know what to say to you. I mean, it's one of those movies where I went to the movie excited for because it's just like new Star Wars. I'm always excited for new Star Wars. I'll go see whatever they put up because of course I'm a corporate shill to this now. I just have to go see Star Wars stuff when they put it on screen. But I had no expectations because I saw the trailers and I was like, oh, this is gonna be whatever's gonna happen. The story's not gonna make any sense, I'm sure, because there's just lots of weird stuff happening in the trailer. But I'm cool. It's Star Wars. Let's go see what happens. I'm sure they'll make it kind of work. It didn't work at all. None of it made any sense. I mean, I remember reading the opening crawl in the movie. It never has my heart like sunk so much. When it got to "the dead speak," which is the first line of the opening crawl, I was like, "Oh, that's cool. What does that mean?" And they say Emperor Palpatine sends like a message from space, and I was like, "What? What do you mean he just sent? Are we not going to see this? He's just going to send a message off screen?" And then it starts with the coolest and best part of the movie, in my opinion, is Kylo Ren going around just murdering a bunch of people for like 15 seconds. It's awesome. It's great. But then we start planet hopping for like 3 minutes straight. We're just like from location, location, location. And you're just starting to get inundated with information. It's like, oh, now he's on this random stiff planet. Oh, look at that. There's a bunch of Snoke clones in the tank floating around. Oh, look at that. There's Palpatine. He's like, guess what? I never died. Guess what? I was every voice you ever heard inside your head. Isn't that great? Don't you just love when the other movies don't matter all of a sudden? The last two that you paid money to see are worthless now. And then, yeah, it was just kind of.
I have the crawl here, so because
yes.
there is definitely what is it? The first one, the Phantom Menace crawl is, in my opinion, terrible.
It's like the worst one because you're like trade stuff.
For reference, Phantom Menace's turmoil has engulfed the Galactic Republic. The taxation of trade routes to outlying star systems is in dispute.
Not good.
About the Trade Federation stopping on Naboo, and it keeps going about the Republic and the Supreme Chancellor and 2 Jedi Knights going to see seat keys. Then you get to, hold on, I just have to scroll through all of these. Rise of Skywalker. The dead speak. The galaxy has heard a mysterious broadcast, a threat of revenge in the sinister voice of the late Emperor Palpatine. One, how do they know it's Emperor Palpatine? There's no war reels of him going on. How do they know? How do they know?
Yeah, nobody would know. It's like, who is that?
Who is that guy? There's no newspapers going around the galaxy talking about how Emperor Palpatine died 50 years ago today. Here's a picture of him, wanted, dead or alive. Oh, wait, he's dead. It continues on. General Leia Organa dispatches secret agents to gather intelligence while Rey, the last hope of the Jedi, trains for the battle against the diabolical First Order. Meanwhile, Supreme Leader Kylo Ren rages in search of the Phantom Emperor, determined to destroy any threat to his power. The one sentence structure is terrible.
I mean, that's paragraph structure. It's like it just doesn't make any sense.
It don't make any sense, and it's
just a lot of stuff that they just say. Here's stuff that happened off screen in between movies that you will never see.
I'm trying to find.
It's supposed to set us up.
It's supposed to get you,
not just fill in the gaps that you want to fill in very quickly.
Show me what's going to happen in the movie. I want to see the
for
movie.
Comparison, here is A New Hope. Okay, this is A New Hope scrawl.
The first one ever.
Crawl. The first one ever. So, and I'm reading it now and I'm going, it could be better. Okay. But we give it because it is the first one.
I mean, it
is a period of civil war. Rebel spaceships strike from hidden base, have won their first victory. Wait, am I reading? Yeah. Have won their first victory against the evil Galactic Empire. During the battle, rebel spies managed to steal secret plans to the Empire's ultimate weapon, the Death Star, an armored space station with enough power to destroy an entire planet. Pursued by the Empire's sinister agents, Princess Leia races home aboard her starship, custodian of the stolen plans that can save her people and restore freedom to the galaxy. Yeah.
and
Like,
that's
that's
fine.
okay.
Good
because
background
it's the
info.
It's a
first
good
movie.
fact. I think I could have lived without the Death Star comment, like, because I think that makes the reveal of the Death Star a little less fun, you know, like saying it has enough power to destroy an entire planet. But it's ominous. It keeps you engaged. You're like, I
Mhm.
want to see this spaceship. I mean, you know, whenever this came out, people 1977, they were probably like, what is this spaceship thing they're talking about? So, like, we hadn't already landed on the moon, but whatever.
I mean,
You
the
know what
thing
I mean? It
like back then it
creates.
fits because it's like you have nothing to go on yet because it's the very first movie. So it's like, oh, we have to create anticipation. So let's tell them, here's a little bit of what just happened. Now let's show you the rest of the movie.
But it's written as a story. Like
Yeah,
it's
it
written
works.
like text. Like it's literally the first like 2 paragraphs of a book, and
Mhm.
that's fine. The rest of those read like crappy news headlines.
Yeah,
Yeah.
pretty much. And in this one, in the Rise of Skywalker one, it's just the worst because it's like we just had a whole movie we just watched, and now you're gonna ignore a bunch of stuff and then show me basically the middle of another movie. Effectively, it feels like you're just in the middle of some random film that has nothing to do with anything else. And we're just talking about the beginning of the movie here. We haven't gotten to
Yeah.
the rest of the film yet.
Yeah, like I could nitpick this movie until tomorrow, but like my big gripe with this is like this is the first and only movie I've ever watched in theaters, and while I was watching it with the anticipation of it being Star Wars, I was like, I can feel J.J. Abrams fighting everything that Rian Johnson did in the last film and trying to correct it so he can be right. And it was the
Mhm.
most petty bullshit ever.
Yeah, it's like it's an argument that's on the screen. And you're like, guys, just why is this happening in the middle of my movie? It's like just tell your story. Stop trying to override everything else. I mean, obviously the biggest problem with this, they didn't have a plan going into making. They just made the movies just because they had the rights. So we're gonna make some movies, and it worked for a little bit, and then it suddenly worked really, really poorly. So
Mhm.
It
Yeah,
also
they
had too
either
many good guys. Like it had too many people. Like
Mhm.
there's Poe, there's Finn, there's Rose, there's Ray, there's Chewbacca.
there's
You
barely a
know,
Rose.
yeah, and then
Honestly.
Rose got immediately ripped out of that movie plotline. They were like, "Hey, she carried the plotline through the last movie for some reason. There was no reason for like that character. Nothing. I love the actress. I think she did a beautiful job, and I think that they really did a disservice to her in the next one, Rise of Skywalker, because you can't just write a movie and like have her carry the whole movie, and then
And it's like, go look up some stuff for us while we're actually
yeah,
doing
like
the adventure.
can you boop on the computer, please?
Yeah.
Like look important while you stand in the background of this shot. Like I'm so mad. Now
Yeah.
I'm watching the trailer and it looks so much cooler than it is, and I'm sad about it.
It does.
Yeah, they
I
either
mean,
needed to have 3 different directors or they should have given JJ the entire
Yeah.
series. 'Cause
exactly.
it was just it was all no.
Yeah, it's like it
Do
was
we
working
do I
until
re-
it wasn't.
either of you remember why he didn't get the whole series? Were they trying to do 3 different directors and then
Yes.
they thought Rian Johnson did a terrible job, so they
No, they were gonna do Colin Trevor for the last one, and
Colin
then basically what we can tell is that like his movie, The Book of Henry, was really bad, and so Disney was like, "Well, we don't want you directing this movie anymore because you made one bad movie."
And they were like,
So
well,
let's give it to
the
JJ.
episode 7 got better reviews than episode 8 or less backlash from, so we'll just give it back to JJ.
Yeah, and so they're like, "Well, let's just make up the story. Let's just finish the story I was trying to tell 4 years ago."
like 5 people are in this cockpit. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 people are in this cockpit for the Millennium Falcon in this one shot of this trailer. And like that's not well, okay, that's if you count C3PO as a person. But like
No, he's a slave. We don't count him.
like it's just entirely unnecessary. Like Poe was like underutilized in the one beforehand, and then like it kind of is just like, and then Finn kind of just gets shoved off to the side. He's created as like such a cool character in the first movie. I mean, like I get it, like he's not cool, but that's the point of him is that he's not cool, and they don't do anything with his character, and then
he
they're
just
like,
gets to shout Ray's name for the entire movie.
Yeah, Ray. And I'm like, I've only known you for 4 minutes, but we are best friends. Like it. And then the ending of the movie really makes me mad. The who is Ray? Who is Ray?
Yeah, it's like, guess what? You're a Palpatine for no reason. Just
it could have just been no one, and we would have been fine.
Yeah,
like that was the whole point of her, was that she was no one.
Yeah, you don't have to be some special. You don't have to come from like an important lineage to be, an important person.
Which was the whole point of Last Jedi, was that you didn't have to be, the Force was everywhere, or metachlorians or whatever the hell, the Teletubbies. I don't know.
40 years they've been making that franchise, and that's how they ended it.
Yeah. We brought back Palpatine. He's the bad guy again. Guess what? Main characters related. Guess what? She could have been a bad guy, but she's not. Also, we're gonna make her and Kylo Ren kiss.
Like, it would have been fine. Like, the kiss would have been fine if he had no redemption arc. Like, he questions it. And I don't know. I like Kylo Ren as a character.
Oh yeah,
I freaking love Adam Driver.
He's my favorite character.
I love
in
Kylo
all of Star
Ren.
Wars.
Yeah, he is so good, and I am okay that he turns good because he turns good. But yes, I agree with you. He did not need to kiss Rey. The sexual tension was there. That's all we needed. We didn't need
I didn't
the makeout
session.
See it. Yeah,
dang, these kill each other.
Great couples ruining my Star Wars movie. But the kiss was unnecessary. The whole thing.
The whole movie was unnecessary.
Oh my gosh.
What could have been? It's like, I just think about all the things where it's like, again, no expectations for this movie going, and I was just like, I'll just watch whatever it is. And they couldn't decide on what the movie should be. They didn't know who their audience was. They're just like, let's just try to make everybody happy, and you made nobody happy. So now these characters are left in limbo, and they're not doing anything with them because it's like, nobody cares. I
also felt like I didn't like Rey. Like, I didn't go see these movies to watch what happened to Rey. I hate to say. I don't know if that might be polarizing. Maybe people get upset about it, but like, I found Finn and Poe Dameron's character a lot more like well written and well rounded, which I'm sure is saying something about our screenwriters and their lack of female representation, but we don't need to go into that, because I felt like she was a very flat character. She always wanted to please everybody. She wanted, like, she was always looking for a father, then she found a mother and Leia, and then it's like she was very needy, I guess, and I felt like I didn't sympathize.
Speaking of Leia, though, like, bringing her back in 9.
They could have just let her die.
Yeah, that's one thing where it's like, if she had died off screen, just keep it that way. It was it was painful to watch.
Yeah, it was
it was just not like good. It's not like an actor died in the middle of shooting and they just stopped showing up on screen. It was just, it's kind of like hey, look at what we can do with CGI, like, like, let's jerk off on a film and show you what we could do with our technology, which would probably be a great segue for my film. But
very important. Remember that for context later, audience.
But yeah, it was kind of like, hey, this is what we can do now. We can make the dead speak.
Dun dun dun! You got it. We can make the dead speak. That's the whole movie.
That's what it was.
We made us speak. We did it, boys.
Pack it up. Let's go home.
Pop the champagne.
No.
Oh my god.
Gracie, it's your turn.
Yeah, so let's talk about something other than that movie.
We can't follow that.
Well, I'm going to be real let down about mine. I had a really hard time thinking of mine. Well, on the note of jerking off onto a film and showing what kind of technology we can do, and like, hey, like this is what we could do with CGI now, ha 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 ha, I would like to throw in Forrest Gump into the fire, please. I've never liked Forrest Gump, and I think I love Tom Hanks. I love him as an actor, but I think it's his like worst performance. And I get it. He's like, okay, he's great. He can play someone with a developmental delay, like, but it's a really boring movie. Like it's I don't even know where to start with it. I just like it. He Tom Hanks is great, and I find Forrest Gump is an interesting story that probably made a lot more sense as a book. I'm pretty sure it was a book before. I don't know.
It was a book before.
But like the movie just feels like it's like, hey, we can make this actor span 30 years, and we can also put him next to Elvis in some footage, or Nixon. Or JFK, which is another thing I don't like. I don't like that it prides itself on being like, I don't know, it feels like it's very like a right-leaning movie that disguises itself as a left. And because it's like, this man comes from the deep South. His grandfather was a member of the Ku Klux Klan, but he's best friends with a black man. Like, it's like
it's like, we're not all bad.
We're not all bad white people. Like, but like, it just, I don't know. The whole premise of it, like, just makes me mad because it's like, well, he's a football star, but he also plays ping pong in the Olympics against Korea, or I think it was China. I don't know. It's been a really long time. I haven't seen this movie in a long time. It just feels like it's like 600 different people's lives pushed into this one character, and then the one character doesn't like this poor woman who's been beaten and abused, and just because she's a hippie and sleeps around at 18 or whatever, we're supposed to be, oh, she's a trollop. Oh, we hate her. Jenny, you've made mistakes in your life. We can fix you. And I'm like, no, like, let that woman believe that war is not a good thing. Like, that's okay. Like, but her boyfriend's off at war. Like, I think she has a right to not agree with war. Like, and so maybe like I just couldn't put myself in Forrest Gump's mindset when it came to Jenny. I don't know. But that's where I also feel like it's a really terrible representation of people with, developmental delays. I think that it makes it seem like this is what everybody's like, with this disability, and it, yeah, it just makes me mad. The whole film.
Yeah, I haven't seen it I remember the first time I saw it was when I was in college. And I was like, oh, I like this movie. And then every time I watched it since, I like it less and less. And I think it is for most of the reasons you said, basically, where it's like, it's a guy where he doesn't do anything. Stuff just kind of happens to him. We're supposed to be rooting for him for things to happen to him. And it's just it's a very strange movie with a main character who I feel like I think I agree too, where it's like, it's just not a very good representation of people with developmental disorders. And it's like, it's just weird to watch this. It's like, why am I rooting for him to go meet JFK for no reason? There's no purpose behind any of this stuff. Just happens. It just occurs. And I don't know. It just becomes less and less interesting. Everything other than Lieutenant Dan's legs, as we've discussed earlier, is just kind of uninteresting.
and like, that's another thing. They're constantly telling the character he's stupid. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, why is everybody got shit in Forrest Gump? Like, this man's saving us in Vietnam, and he saved the man's life, and he helped a man start his company, and he's a football player, and he runs across America, and whatever. He does a billion things. I don't know. He teaches Elvis how to do the dance. But like, it's like, why is everybody got to have a hang up about him being stupid?
They
He's not
also
stupid.
don't really give him like this big redemption either. Like it's
No.
just like he gets lucky and gets a bunch of money. Like he gets lucky
Mhm.
and makes a better life for himself. But really, all of the people around him are the ones that are like growing and evolving and becoming
And
better
Jenny's shit to
people.
him the whole time. Like we don't need to talk about that. She is pretty shit to him. She's like, oh,
Yeah.
we're not friends, but we are friends. We are together. We're not together. Like leading them on the whole time, and
I'm dying. Here's your son.
Here's
Yes.
a baby.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's one that I don't know. I remember people loving that one growing up and like it being their favorite film, and I'm just like,
It's just a parade of American history with a very
whitewashed. Whitewashed American history. That's the
While
other
you're
thing.
watching some dude experience it to a very strange degree. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yes. And yes, but though Lieutenant Dan is the best part in that entire movie, and I still like think about the like when he's like offering him ice cream and he's shaking it and he's like ice cream. I love that scene, but that's fine.
Like, that can stay.
That can stay. But I also just like the memes of Lieutenant Dan. I love the little gifs of him, and he's just like miserable. It's me on a constant basis. All right, do we want to like recap on some other things that you guys are like really hating? I know y'all have a really long list. Forrest Gump was mine because I felt like I could agree with you guys on pretty much all of them.
Well, Darrell and I actually have a director in common that we both have hate movies for, so we can talk about him, Mr. M. Night Shyamalan.
Yep, in the flesh.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
shit on my dude.
Yeah.
I
Okay. See,
love-
this is why. This is why I'm gonna shit on him because he has such potential. He's made good movies and he has
Mhm.
good ideas. But who boy was old awful. It was so bad. It looked so cool. The trailers gave me hope that there was going to be another good M. Night Shyamalan movie, and I saw it and I was like, this could be good. And it's so bad.
Yeah, that movie, it doesn't make me mad. That one doesn't make me mad. I just was laughing the whole time because it was the most awkward experience for every actor in that film. And it was just it was like the coolest idea ever. I love the idea.
Yeah.
It is such a shit movie. And I still can't get over the fact that with a straight face, multiple people said the name mid-size sedan. As if we're just supposed to like accept that that is a name of a character. I think about that so often. It's like, that's mid-size sedan. It's just like, I don't know if he knew that was a joke or not, because it's not delivered like a joke. It's just said, and then they say it again. It's such a
M. Night
fucking stupid
Shyamalan.
movie. God.
He does make me laugh a lot more than he should, but I guess the reason it does make me mad is because I want to see that movie good.
Yeah.
Because I want it to be
All
good.
right. So when would you say the last good M. Night Shyamalan
man.
film was? Because I'm looking at
Split.
Okay. There you go.
Easily.
Good.
It was really good.
Split was good.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, Unbreakable's great. So I guess that was before that, obviously.
2000. All right. So mine would be The Visit. I agree. Split was great. And I kind of forgot. I kind of glazed over that and forgot that he had done Split. The Visit, which was a found
think I
footage
saw
horror
that.
film. Class. It was great found footage horror film. Like
I
great.
still haven't seen it.
So
He's
definitely
very
recommend
hit
that
or
one.
miss. I really like The Village. Like, I don't love The Village. but I
Love
thought
The
it was
Village.
fun.
No, but when I saw that at like 10 or whatever, because when did that come out?
Yeah,
2004.
Same.
I was like, what? Like, I
The Happening, though, best comedy movie ever made.
shut up.
Right?
I freaking love The Happening, and I don't care. I will die on that hill. What if plants could kill
Marky
you?
fucking Mark.
He was
What?
just wrongly cast.
What? No.
So badly cast.
Oh,
I'm just imagining that should have been like the last movie he ever did.
It should
Should
have.
have been. It should have been. It was so bad. It was like, hey, do you want to be in a film? But we're not gonna give you the script. Like you just ad lib. Like you just say what's feeling you. So everybody else has a script except for him.
you.
So it's all just like, huh. What are we gonna do about this? Like, it's just. But I think the premise of the film could have been really cool, and I still like it because, like, I think it's scary. Like, that's how we're gonna go. Is the plants are gonna fight us? And the scene where the guy lays down on front of the lawn, the big giant tractor thing, and kills himself is phenomenal. And you guys didn't like the scene where the lady's banging her head against the window scared the crap out of me. Oh,
I mean, yeah, he's got good ideas. He can do like good moments. Like, I think the best moment in Old is there's a scene where one of the characters who's like obsessed with her appearance is like in a cave. And she's trying to get out of this cave, but, you know, the idea is that, of course, in the movie, they age super fast, so they heal really fast. And she's trying to get out of the cave, and she's, like, hitting her arms on, like, the walls and breaks her arms.
She's got, like, a calcium deficiency, so she breaks her bones easily, so she's just cracking all her bones, and they're just healing in place.
It is, like so gross.
It is
but
terrifying.
It's awesome. I love that. I was like, that is so cool. I wish that was the entire movie.
And then
I didn't see Old, so I'm so excited you guys are giving me this because I'm gonna go into it with a full glass of wine and be so excited to see it.
You got to be drunk to watch this movie.
Then he did the thing that every bad movie does, and they did the whole like, here's the reveal of why this place is being exploited, blah blah blah. And of course it's revealed in the shittiest way possible, where some man who's been working at this facility for years walks in and is like, hello everyone that I've known for the past 5 years, I'm about to tell you what we've been doing here, because none of you know. Here's an explanation.
So here's my explanation. Let me tell everybody this. You were here yesterday, right?
Sir. Can I get back to work?
Like, are you still gonna pay me minimum wage, sir? I have a family to feed.
To do our science experiments. Cool.
I don't want to lose my 401k.
It's like, I'm glad we go over this every single day just to remind myself what we're doing here. Oh my god. And it feels like it's in like the middle of the movie. It's not at the middle of the movie, but it feels like it because the movie still goes after that. There's still more. There's like two whole like huge scenes after that.
I would say Signs is my least favorite out of all his. So I'm interested.
I don't like Signs, but I think
I've never seen it.
Is my least favorite.
Signs was like one of those movies that like was a big deal. I felt like, and like people loved it. Maybe that's how I viewed it.
That's how I always thought of it.
And then I saw it and I was like, nah. You know, like, oh, we saw an alien on screen for 2 seconds. What?
Never seen that shit before.
I see aliens all the time, bro. Check out my Reddit. No.
Honestly, I don't think he's ever topped Sixth Sense.
No, I don't think.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely his best ever.
I felt like, and like young Gracie would have probably said this, that he was a one-hit wonder trying to find his like redemption, you know? But I feel like he had successes. Like, like I feel like they're just never going to be that great again.
Yeah. I mean,
because
I think about
he wrote the script.
That's great.
He wrote the script. We say, oh, you pulled the Shyamalan now in film school or things like that because you're like, oh, you wrote a twist into the movie. And while that was definitely before him, like twists definitely existed, but you know, like that's his shtick. So you're waiting for the moment, you know, you're like, oh, why is the beach turning them old? You know, like you're just waiting for that moment.
And I wanted to know, and I was interested the whole movie. I was ready to find the answer because I needed the answer, because why? And then they
say you're turning old. Did they use the title? Did they go Violet? You're turning Violet.
They never do that. I wish they did. Like I must become.
Why I used a Willy Wonka reference there.
No, I don't think they even use the word old at all. I feel like they just. I don't even think they. I feel like they don't even talk.
The casting was amazing.
Yeah,
it's a great cast, but
the way they did like the younger to like the teenage to the adult, I was like, hot damn, they literally cloned that kid. You can't convince me otherwise.
Isn't it the guy from It?
It
was Alex Wolff.
Yeah,
no, but like
no,
the guy who plays him when he's older, right? Or I don't know. Hold on.
No,
the guy.
I don't think so.
Hold on. I don't think so.
I try to remember.
Don't quote me on that.
I'm looking it up now because it's probably an obscure.
Sorry, this movie's terrible, so I'm just trying to remember information about it.
No, it's not. It's not him. I don't think.
He's another just generic child actor.
There's a guy named Guy in the movie.
There's a guy named Rufus in the movie.
Rufus.
Rufus
All
Sewell, who I think
Um,
like was struggling to act a lot in this movie.
Interesting.
But that's like the most of the cast. I feel like they were really trying to give it their all, but it's like the script is just so bad and so awkward. It's just every line of dialogue is bad. Every interaction between characters is bad. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know. Again,
Well,
like
that's
I
like
said,
the
you have to be
thing.
drunk to enjoy
I feel
this
like
movie.
he doesn't
this
write
would be a
dialogue
cool
well. And that's the problem.
music video. I don't know.
Yeah.
A much
I feel like his
shorter form
dialogue
story.
is terrible. Like that's where like the happening to me was terrible, was the dialogue.
Mm-hmm.
And and I would even say like the village, that's probably why it was okay, because they could get away with the fact that like they were terrible at communicating because someone was hiding a secret, I got distracted. I'm still looking for that actor's name.
That's okay. But yeah, I mean, my movie that was on my list was actually not old. It was Glass. I mean, pretty much it's all for the same reasons. Because it's like, my biggest issue with M. Night Shyamalan as a director is that he makes movies as if he doesn't have any money at all to make movies. He shoots his films as if he only has one camera and has like a single memory card. And it's like, we got to get this in one shot. Because if we don't, we lost it. We can't afford
That's it. That's it. That is exactly it.
Because he has like the most basic, boring camera angles, and then he just shoots. Like, all right, just do the scene, I guess. I don't give a shit. Just do it. Just do the scene.
Just make sure you put me in later.
Yeah, just make sure that I'm one of the main characters. Oh, I'm the director. I'm supposed to be doing my job. I forgot. And then he makes stuff like Split, which is awesome. But then he makes stuff like Glass, which is terrible because it's like it has a terrible ending. Again, the clunky dialogue just really brings it down. It's just a huge disappointment on every level, especially since Split ended up being an unexpected sequel to Unbreakable. And he's like, now we're doing a trilogy. Yeah. And the trilogy sucks now. Now we have a Rise of Skywalker situation.
And Unbreakable and Split were so good. And then it's like,
yeah, it's like maybe you shouldn't
Thanks for ruining two of your good ones.
Yeah, it's like, thanks for doing that. Now you have no good ones.
And like Split didn't need to be like, it was a movie on its own. It didn't need to be a sequel to Unbreakable. And I think that was maybe why I felt like it fell through the cracks, is it was like, oh, by the way, you were watching a sequel the whole time.
But
it
needed a
twist.
That's
the twist here. Like,
yeah, that's
the last 2 seconds of the film. Here's your twist.
Bruce Willis?
What? He drinks coffee in this cafe?
In this diner. And that was before I saw Unbreakable, and I was like, "What? Wait a second, is that the guy? That must be
That's the guy."
And I went and looked it up, and I was like, "Oh my god, this movie I haven't seen. It's a sequel to this movie I've never seen." And so I went and watched it, and I was like, "Oh my god, Unbreakable is amazing." Honestly, it's one of those movies where I'm like, I wish I made this movie because it's such a cool idea. Then he made Glass, and now I'm like, this sucks. I hate this whole concept.
So the actor that I was thinking of is not the same. It was not him. So I'm sorry. I retract that piece of information. I was thinking of Malignant. Children. Yeah, it was Malignant.
Malignant? So. What child in Malignant?
No, he wasn't a child. He was the adult Stanley Uris.
Old Alex Wolff.
Yeah, the
Alex
old.
Wolff.
Oh,
yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah. Alex Wolff was not in it. You're thinking?
No, he was in. No, he was in. I'm not talking about. I'm talking about old.
Yeah, you had mentioned it, so that's why we were like.
Okay, I thought he looked like him, so that's who I thought that would play him as an older person. I haven't seen the movie, so I don't know. That's why.
Well, we've already described the entire plot, so now.
I was talking about Alex Wolff being an old the entire time.
Yeah. Okay. Now I know. Cleared it up. Thanks, guys. Sarah, do you have another, or I guess I don't have another one to talk about. I mean, I have one that I know, Darrell also agrees with that I could segue us into.
Oh yeah, y'all talk about that. I haven't seen it.
All right, so there is a film. What year did this come out?
I feel like it was like 2014. I think the same year as Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes,
Well,
it
I
was.
know it was because I saw it right before seeing Guardians, and I was so much happier watching Guardians.
All right. So it's called a French science fiction action film. Okay. Well, I guess it's because it's Luc
What?
Besson. It's because it's Luc Besson. That's why.
Is that the Wikipedia entry?
Yes. So if
Okay.
you haven't figured out, it's Lucy. And yeah, that movie. I just don't. I, it's stupid.
Yep.
It's so stupid. Okay, so I'm shot. Okay, I'm trying to find like a description of the movie. Hold on, I don't want a 6-paragraph description. Basically, it boils, if I can remember correctly. So she's like a party girl in London or something like that.
Is that how it starts?
I don't remember. But she's like a party girl and she gets date rape drugged by this guy who, when she wakes up, she's got like a slice down her stomach and she's like, what did you do? Did you steal my organs? And she's like, no, you need to traffic these drugs for me across to wherever the fuck.
Yeah.
And that's how she gets, I think that's how she gets wrapped up into it, is she was like a party girl and, you know, this happens to her. So I don't know if that's them saying, oh, if you're a party girl, you're going to get your organs harvested. I don't really know. And the drugs are in her stomach and she's like, they're like, we're gonna, if you don't make it there, we'll kill you. I don't know, like it's slowly gonna kill you or something like that. She tries to go do it and someone catches her and like kicks her in the stomach, and then the drugs start leaking into her system and the drugs unlocks a part of her brain and she suddenly can hear other people's thoughts and move objects with her mind and change her hair color and hack a computer system and read books and, you know, research papers really, really fast, and then hack into some other man's, you know, computer system and talk to him via FaceTime, you know, like.
So
and
yeah,
it's what's her name, and I don't like what's her name. So
Scarlett
you know,
Johansson.
Yeah, there's that. So
You're reminding me of why I don't like this movie, because I honestly forgot the entire plot except for the overall concept of unlocking quote unquote 10% of your brain or whatever, and then the very, very end. Those are the only two things I remembered until you mentioned that.
I just watched the trailer.
Oh
That's
God.
the only reason why I remember it.
So dumb. Like, he treats his audience like they're stupid, and I hate that. It's like nobody thinks that. We all know that the 10% of your brain thing is a myth. So first of all, why is your movie based off of that? That makes no sense. Literally everybody knows that's not true at this point. Everybody keeps debunking it constantly. Don't make that the plot of your film. And this was 7 years ago too. So.
Sorry, I just read the IMDb little snippet about it. A woman accidentally caught in a dark deal turns the tables on her captors and transforms into a merciless warrior evolved beyond human logic.
That's so dumb. That's not, I mean, technically that's what happens, but that's not what feels like happens. It just feels like she gets really smart and she turns into a flash drive at the end of the movie. So that's...
Oh yeah, and she turns into a computer. So and she keeps getting smaller. Like, I think, doesn't she try and become a computer, and then I don't know.
No, she does turn into an actual flash drive. She turns into a computer, then she gets smaller and smaller
to a hard drive.
Someone picks her up and is like, yes, we can plug her into a computer now.
And
which
it all
is the dumbest ending to a movie.
With the first monkey's name is Lucy, the first.
Oh my God, I forgot about that.
The first sentient being on Earth is Lucy. Yeah. That's
doesn't
the
she
whole point.
talk to it or something?
Yes, she goes through time and space, and it has some cool editing sequences. Don't get me wrong. As someone who studied not hard cut, but it's a showing someone what to think basically, and advertising and things like that. It does some cool things there. It helps your mind jump quickly, and it shows you what you're supposed to see and what your mind's supposed to be registering when you're watching this film. But it literally treats you like an idiot.
Yep.
Like, it's like, we know you know nothing about science, so therefore we're
just
gonna say
make up stuff.
And also, it's been done before. The drug that helps you like see things and hear things,
become smarter.
Yes, and
I
it
don't
all
know
just
what
feels like
movie. Or I don't know what movie said that first, where it was
Well,
like,
I mean,
oh
Limitless.
yeah, unlocking the other. Well, no, like
If that
before
came
that
out the
even,
same, I don't even
like
know.
there have been like just throwaways to like you only use 10% of your brain for like so long, and it was just like accepted by the dumb general public, and then they're like, let's make multiple movies about this. Like,
Yep, at the same time.
Oh my God. So I typed in where did the myth of you, and it popped up only use 10%.
Nice.
So
And that's how you know. So yeah, and I was watching Sarah's face the whole time as we were trying to describe the plot of this movie. Just watching
This is
her.
why you watch us on YouTube, so that you can see this.
So you can know
reaction.
that it's like she is very confused as to what we're talking about, and it's like I was confused watching the movie because it was so stupid. It made no sense.
Apparently, the other 90% of your brain is connected to Wi-Fi because you can turn into
you can turn into a flash
drive.
drive. I mean, that's the trajectory of all of humanity. Is you will one day become a piece of plastic and metal, and we'll plug you into a computer.
I'm trying to find a reliable source.
Yeah, but you can do that really well. San Junipero.
No,
I still haven't seen it.
Don't bring Black Mirror into this. That treats you like a smart audience member. There's a difference. They know who they're talking to.
Well, watch it and cry, Darrell.
So
okay, then.
Basically, you could.
It's so good.
From my 10 seconds of looking on Wikipedia, I tried to find where it originated. Apparently, in the 1890s, that myth.
Oh, that's the reason why.
Yeah, they like said that's where that came from, and I'm not gonna go too quickly into it because it's a really long paragraph. But like, you could disprove that basically by I'm pretty sure a CAT scan or whatever it is. You can see the brain moving. You know, like you can see it is literally you're using all your brain. Someone said that the only reason part of your brain wouldn't be used is if you had brain damage.
And that was probably his fuzz. Like, you know what? We'll give her brain damage and just call it a day.
Evidence says, according to somebody, I'm reading this from Wikipedia, so don't come at me. Evidence says would show over a day you use 100% of the brain.
Look at that.
Like, why would they create a whole a quick Wikipedia search? And okay, hold on, I'll go to the reference. I'm checking my references, citing my sources. It comes from the 2008 news article. Not news article. 2008 science article. Do people only use 10% of their brains? Clicking on that real quick to go cite this because I cite my sources. It's written in the online magazine Scientific America, the public health section. So
see, there you go.
At him, not me. Don't at me. Whoever this author is. It's a woman, Robin Boyd. There you go.
See, thank you, Robin.
Sorry for
we could have ignored this whole movie in case
if someone had just read Robin's article.
That's why we respect Robin in this house.
Is Morgan Freeman in that? Because for some reason I remember Morgan Freeman saying the line about
he does say the line.
He's the scientist that says you only use 10% of your brain.
I've not seen the movie, but I saw the trailer and decided not to watch it.
And you were right. You should have seen Guardians of the Galaxy instead, which is what I did immediately after. So it was a bad day, then it was a very good day.
Well, do we have anything else we want to chat about today? I mean, I don't know. Has anybody seen anything lately? I think we've covered the movies that we hate. It was not too long of a list. I feel like I always try to keep an open mind with movies.
I do
Maybe later I feel heated about it, but I
have a longer list here, but we won't talk about some of them.
Darrell, do you want to mention some of your heavy hitter or other ones that you didn't get a chance to talk about?
The only one we didn't talk about was Hellboy, the newest Hellboy.
You want to talk about it real quick?
I'm just gonna say a couple things. The worst part about it to me was that other than the fact that it wasn't, Hellboy 3, which would have been great, like actual Hellboy 3, the Guillermo del Toro version. I think the thing I hated the most was that all the violence felt so unearned, and it's like it was just way, way too much for no reason. Normally, I watch a movie and there's violence, I'm like, awesome, yes, that's like kind of come here for sometimes. But I watched this, I was like, I'm just watching people get ripped in half for like no reason. Like, what is happening here? What's the point of this? There's no purpose behind it. So, and overall, it was just disappointing. Way too much lore. They're trying to set up a universe again, like the dark universe kind of thing, where it's like, we're gonna make this movie, and we're gonna make 6 more after this, and it's like, no, you're not. It's not gonna happen. Nobody cares. So that's all I'm gonna say about it. It's terrible. Neither of y'all have seen it, I don't think.
No,
right?
I didn't
Cool.
see it. I remember when it was announced, I was so excited because Guillermo del Toro and Ron Perlman were both backing it. They were like producing it. And then I was like, David Harbour, that's brilliant. He's going to be so good. Like, what a cast. Like, I was so hyped. And then I was like, oh, it's R. They're just going to go balls to the wall. And like, they can just do what they couldn't do in the other Hellboys. And then before I got a chance to see it, there was so much backlash by people that I like trust their opinion. And I was like, I don't want to ruin my Hellboy experience because the comics and the Guillermo del Toro movies hold such a nice place in my heart that I'm not gonna taint that experience with whatever the fuck they did.
And you were right to hold off on that because it was disappointing. They also used the Muse song in it, and Muse is like my favorite band, and I was like, why do I keep hearing Muse songs in terrible movies? Last time was in World War Z.
Supermassive black hole. Twilight. Woo!
But
that's right.
Darrell,
another one. It's Twilight as well.
Have you caught up on What We Do in the Shadows?
That's right. Yes, they did. They did the
joke.
I was so happy. I was like, oh my god.
The vampire werewolf baseball, and they played Supermassive.
It was great. I was like, finally a good usage. It's like so unexpected too. I was like, this is perfect.
It's hilarious.
I don't even know why they'd use this song. This is great. So yeah, Hellboy bad. What We Do in the Shadows good. That's the moral of the story, everyone. I still need to catch up. I think that was the last or second to last episode I watched.
You're
so
in
I need
for a ride.
Yeah, I've heard it's great this season. So I need to watch the remaining like 4 episodes that I missed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Speaking of what you're watching, well.
Oh, sorry. No, my only other mention was Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
No.
But I won't go into it. I just think it's also another disappointment to a big franchise. So whatever. But I won't go into more of it. And they're gonna make another one.
I watched it for some reason.
They're not done yet. They're bringing him back.
They're like, Harrison
not
Ford's still alive. We're gonna keep going.
We're gonna poke him with a stick until he does it.
And he can even, as we've seen in the Star Wars movies, they can keep making movies even if he's dead. So who knows?
What a hellish landscape that awaits us.
Anybody see anything good lately?
I saw 9 Days yesterday.
Ooh, how was that?
It was very, very good. It's one of those few movies that like almost made me cry. So if y'all haven't heard of 9 Days, it's basically about basically these people who are not born yet. They have to go through like an initiation process in order to be granted the gift of life. And it's just like it's kind of like an existential kind of movie where basically they all show up at this one house and they're like, where am I? And you're like, well, you get to be born if you like basically pass this series of tests, but I can only pick one of you guys to be born. And it stars Winston Duke as the main character. So he was in Black Panther, if y'all remember him. He was what's his face? The guy who ran the gorilla guys. M'Baku. He was M'Baku in that. It also stars Zazie Beetz, which is always wonderful to see Zazie Beetz.
Tony Hale's in that,
Tony
right?
Hale. Yeah, Tony Hale's in it. He's great in that. And overall, also Bill Skarsgård's in it too.
What?
Oh. Yes, he is. You can go see Pennywise being a normal human
in an actual good role, not like given a couple throwaway lines like some other movie that we saw this last week.
What movie?
Yeah.
Oh, it was him.
Yes.
Lame.
It was him.
I love him.
You know what? I don't care. For those of you who don't know, Eternals, which I reserve my right to just enjoy Marvel movies, and I try and just to enjoy Marvel movies. and I look on them critically later. But my biggest complaint is the big slap in the face they give to Bill Skarsgård by casting him for 4 lines. And not even like he's okay, I'll stop because it just came out, so I'm not gonna spoil it. So
Well, yeah, so now we were talking for a long time beforehand was about
sorry.
Eternals.
Sorry.
Me and Grace at least. But
Oh my
yeah.
goodness.
So 9 days
but that was the
you
real
said it was really good.
It was really, really good.
Saw the trailer
Watch
for
the
it in front of
trailer.
something. I know. I think I saw it in front of. I don't know. There was a movie that I think you and I saw together, and it
I've
had
heard nothing about it. I'm intrigued.
trailer before it.
Yeah,
It's
it came
got,
out this year.
It's got Benedict Wong in it too, right?
That's right, Benedict Wong. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry,
So-
I keep forgetting that the cast is like really good. It's a very small cast,
Yeah.
but they're all really good actors. Reminds me that Benedict Wong is English. I keep forgetting that he's English. So whenever I hear his accent, I'm like, oh, that's right. You're.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What about you, Sarah? Did you see anything good lately? Or bad? I don't really care.
I rewatched the extended edition of Fellowship of the Ring.
Okay.
Okay.
It was
All
great.
right.
How did that go? I don't think
5
I've seen that
stars.
since your party that we had like 5 years ago.
I hadn't either, and it was great.
Interesting.
I haven't watched
It's always
anything
good to
new.
think about Lord of the Rings being good.
I've been rewatching a lot of things, like Monsters Inc. and Inside Out and Nausicaa, Valley of the Wind.
I love that movie so much.
It's so
It makes
good.
me it makes me feel so good at the end. I'm just like,
I can't wait to do
humanity
a
has
Miyazaki
chance.
episode.
That'll give me a good chance to catch up. I'm really sick of his movies, but I mean, there's so many more. Obviously, I gotta check out. The Nausicaa, I think, is my favorite.
We'll do one when he comes back and
For the 6th time out of
since he's
retirement.
coming back. Yeah, we'll do one when
One
that comes
last
out.
job again.
Again. I watched Tick Tick Boom. I don't know if anybody watched that.
How was it?
No, I saw the trailer.
I was a big I was a big musical theater fan growing up, as we've definitely discussed. So I definitely went through a Rent phase in high school. Yeah. And so I was a huge Jonathan Larson nut when, and like my heart ripped out for him and like he was all this stuff. And completely forgot about that until I watched this movie, and then I went, oh yeah, I really love the way he writes and stuff like that. So I was having a lot of really fun. I loved Andrew Garfield as Jonathan Larson. I think Lin-Manuel Miranda did a pretty good job directing it. I thought it was a cool way to make it's Tick Tick Boom is a musical that he wrote, which was just him on stage telling a story. So he's like monologuing while playing, a piano basically. And so it's a really cool, they get to do things like, artsy fartsy and, notes are coming out of the sky and like the diner's wall falls down and really cool things. There's also nods to a bunch of like Broadway stars, people from Rent, various things like that. So it was really cool. It was super, nostalgic for me to kind of go back down that road. Yeah, I saw Eternals. Yeah, we've never done a Marvel episode, and I feel like we should definitely go down that road eventually. I'm rewatching slowly. I also watched Captain America, the first one,
Avenger.
And that's a film I did not like, and then it grew on me, and I'm starting to like it more and more. Though I will say the CGI, I don't know how you can make it look so bad. And then I also watched Aristocats again.
Oh, okay.
Don't ask me why. I just threw that on one night and I was like, I want to watch, cats sing, and I did.
I saw someone on TikTok actually play the piano.
Play
that
the
cat was
piano.
stepping on.
And I was like, how is this? I watched it, and then the next day that TikTok popped up on my For You
That's
page,
funny.
and I was like,
That's funny.
what the heck? But yeah,
They're
I have
watching
Also,
it.
speaking of TikTok, I saw this TikTok of like someone talking about how Andrew Garfield's going around getting interviewed because of Tick Tick Boom, and they're like, "Poor guy." People just keep asking him if he's gonna be in this new Spider-Man.
Spider-Man movie, and he's like, "Watch
can't
my
talk
other
about his
movie." Like, I'm here to talk about this movie. Stop asking me. He's like, I am an artist. Please.
One more month, and then they can stop asking you forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like that's
Maybe.
gonna be an opening night watch because like I don't want anything spoiled.
Same.
Yeah, that's like
Tickets
one
like
where
just went on sale, and they're already like being sold by scalpers
and
online.
I don't know if I can do it. Like, I really don't know if I could do an opening night. Like, I went and saw Eternals, and it's been out for like what, 3 weeks now.
It's been out for like
And
a month.
yeah, I went and saw it on Sunday, so that was yesterday, and the theater was packed. I had people sitting next to me for the first time. Like, and I was
That's so
uncomfortable.
weird.
I was uncomfortable. I like turned to my husband and I was like, really don't like this. Like, we're gonna have to go see movies at like 10 o'clock in the morning now because I can't do this anymore. But you know what? The funniest thing, best audience I've had in a long time. No people having meetings in the middle of it, no conversations, no phone calls, no loud snorers. It's great.
Same for Dune. Dune was pretty packed when I went and saw it, which was crazy because I saw it at 9:45 on opening night. I'm like, guys, it's a Thursday. This movie doesn't let out till 1 a.m. But there were a lot of people there. And I think, honestly, the more packed the movie, the more people are like, oh man, I'm surrounded by people. I better behave.
Well, like, even the guy next to me was texting, but he had a really thick sweatshirt on and he was texting underneath the sweatshirt. So I didn't even like care because there was no light in my face. Like, I was like, I know,
at least.
I was like, I know you're texting, but I could care less because I can't see the screen.
I'm not
like,
your teacher. Do what you want.
Yeah,
bro, as long as
and
it's
like,
not...
as long as it's not like bright in my face. And like when like a group of high schoolers walked in, I went, oh no. Oh, and like they were talkative, like, you know, but like it wasn't like, let's have a huge phone call in the middle of Candyman or whatever it was the last time. And like have this meeting in the middle of an important scene.
The first time I saw The French Dispatch, there was a drunk man 3 seats away from me.
Really?
And he was just mumbling to himself and at the movie. Like,
that sucks.
oh boy.
Oh my God. Did I tell you guys about, I'm sure I have, about the Hereditary viewing that I had where it was that whole family having a huge argument about like popcorn or something like that. Yeah, it was like
in the middle of Hereditary.
In the middle of Hereditary.
I mean,
so like
it's a
one guy
movie.
walks out and then he comes back and he's like, what did I miss? And she's like, well, if you hadn't have walked out, you would know it. You hadn't missed. And then he was like, well, can you go get me some fucking popcorn? Excuse my language. And then she's like, your son's sitting right there. Why are you cursing him out? And he's like, well, can you get me something to drink? And I'm like, sir, this movie theater is packed. Like, how are you the most disruptive family in this entire theater? I don't know. It was, that's probably why I didn't like the movie the first time around, but yeah.
I mean, that fits. They're having like a divorce argument basically in the middle of all movies Hereditary. That actually fits really well. So it added to the ambiance, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, definitely.
The horror of family.
Yeah.
Alrighty, guys. Well, do we have anything else we want to chat up about? My camera died, so if you're watching on YouTube, I'm sorry.
Eternal darkness in her corner.
Please, or a smiling face. Just a smiley face. Not my face, just a smiley face, Sarah.
The creepiest one you can find.
Editor note. The creepiest face that you can find Bill Skarsgård doing, but not him in Pennywise. So there you go. That's no, I'm kidding.
Oh, just put a gif of Bill Skarsgård as Pennywise, but he's high-fiving the kids.
Yeah,
I like
he's
that
like,
one.
yeah. But it's been great chatting with you guys, even if it is about movies that we don't like, or at least we strongly don't think they should be on your bucket list. Did we talk about any movies that should be on a bucket list today?
9 days.
9 days. Okay.
Just put 9 days on it. Just go check it out. It's really good.
Alrighty.
Also, Unbreakable and Split.
Yep, actually, yeah, both those. Don't
I'm
watch
gonna-
Glass.
Well, then we should definitely throw on The Visit, even though I think we should do an M. Night Shyamalan episode one day.
That'll
Yeah,
be
we
fun.
will.
But throw on The Visit on there because that's my favorite. So just do that for me. Alrighty, but my name is Gracie, and you can find me at Gracie May, GRA. Why am I spelling it out? But you know what? Here, we've committed to it. It's at GRAYCEEE. That's 3 E's. MAE with a Y and 3 E's on anywhere you see fit. Darrell, where can we find you?
You can find me on Twitter at Darth Darrell. That's Darth as in Vader, Sidious, Small. Take your pick. Shout at me there if you want. If you don't want to, that's also fine. I'll just take it personally and remember it for the rest of my life.
Sarah, what about you?
Well, I am snotty_person on Twitter and snotty.person on Instagram. And that's snotty with an IE instead of a Y.
Check us out for the latest movie news at the Popcorn Bucket List on Instagram and at TPB_podcast on Twitter, or just find us on whatever social media you use and tune in to our YouTube channel if you want to see our beautiful faces, but not mine because my camera died. We'll be uploading the video version of the podcast on Fridays. Sarah does a wonderful job, guys. She does all the editing for both the because we definitely take breaks and stuff like that. And also for the YouTube videos. So shout out to Sarah. She also pretty much runs our social media page. So thank you so much, Sarah. We love you. And we're sorry, Darrell and our bunch of useless
are the worst.
POSs. But it's been great talking to you guys. I miss you guys so much. And we'll see you all later. Bye.
Bye.
Goodbye.